Hello, I'm Phillip, the Vicar of Morven Linkworth County, and I'm the Vicar of the parish in which Dyson Perrins is located. Now, during Lent, we're going to be looking at what Lent is as a season and looking at different themes and ideas within it. But ultimately, Lent is a season of preparation and a time for people to gather together and to get themselves ready for Easter. Now, you've just seen a video of Anna Kendrick singing the song Cups from the movie Pitch Perfect. I need to, at this point, to say that I have a bit of a thing about Pitch Perfect. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. And I'm going to come back to why I've shown you that. But what I want to talk about today is habits and why habits can be really useful in our preparation for Easter. Now, most people, when they think of habits, think of bad habits. Think of things like picking their nose or scratching parts of their body that they shouldn't be scratching. And they then end up thinking to themselves, I need to get rid of these bad habits. But the thing is that bad habits don't actually come in just one form. They can come in two forms. They can come as good habits as well. So a good habit that most people do, and if you don't do it, you definitely should, is to clean your teeth. Most people clean their teeth twice a day. They clean their teeth when they get up. They clean their teeth before they go to bed. That's a good habit that you do. Most people don't have to think about how they clean their teeth. They don't have to give an enormous amount of mental energy for it. They just clean their teeth. And so what I want to teach you today is how you can create a good habit. And don't worry about bad habits at the moment. Getting rid of bad habits is a completely different thing. But how can you create good habits and why good habits might be useful? So the first thing is to find a habit that you already do and to then attach the new habit to it. So, for example, there's a famous story of a scientist at Stanford University in the US who wanted to learn how to do press-ups. He wanted to do press-ups, and he wanted to be able to do 50 press-ups a day. And so he started this a number of different ways, and every time he failed. He decided he was going to do 10 press-ups every day. That didn't work. He stopped after a while. He decided he was going to do 30 press-ups and then discovered pretty quickly that he wasn't capable of doing 30 press-ups. So he then decided that every single time that he went to the loo, he was going to do 2 press-ups when he'd finished. Now, he worked from home, so this was quite easy. And so every single day, every time he went to the toilet, he then did 2 press-ups. So by the end of a day, of which you probably don't realise how many times you go to the toilet during the day, but it's a fair amount, but by the end of the day, he was now doing 15 to 20 press-ups a day, which then meant that he then expanded the amount of press-ups he did. So he started doing 3 press-ups every time, or 4 press-ups every time. And what this turned into pretty quickly was the ability to do 50 press-ups. Now, the thing is he attached the new habit he wanted to a habit that he already had. And if you do that, creating a new habit is really easy. Now, what has this got to do with Anna Kendrick? Well, a few years ago, I decided that I wanted to be able to do and perform the Cups song from Pitch Perfect, including all of the bit with the cups. And so I practiced. And the thing is that I started to practice and I couldn't ever really get the practice going. So what I did was I attached it to a habit that I already had. I had a really old computer at the time, and when I turned it on, I had to turn it on and then wait for it to start. And so every time I sat there waiting for it to start, which was about 3 minutes, I practiced doing the cup song. And because I had to turn my computer on every single day, after 2 weeks, I practiced it 14 times and got pretty good at it. Now, what's this got to do with Lent? Well, one of the things that's important about Lent is to see if you can create habits that will help you develop your faith and also help you to ground yourself in your daily devotions. And so one of the things that I encourage people to do during Lent, and one of the things I'm going to encourage my congregation to do in my 3 churches, is to pray the Lord's Prayer every day. Now, if you decide you're going to come up with a habit that requires a lot of work and energy, you are going to go mad. If you decide that you're going to read half a gospel every day or you're going to pray for 20 minutes, it's not going to happen. If, however, you decide that you're going to pray the Lord's Prayer every single day, then you can. Now, I'm pretty lucky. I get to organise most of my days. So what I do during Lent is I set a timer on my phone so that an alarm goes off at midday every day. And whenever that alarm goes off at midday, I pray the Lord's Prayer. I just stop for a moment and pray the Lord's Prayer. And because I do that every single day, I will do that 40 times during Lent. And just that moment of stopping and giving myself a moment of stillness is really, really important and gives me an opportunity to develop a habit that's going to really help as I grow through Lent and get ready for Easter. So, if you're going to pray this, the simple thing for this assembly, and my advice for you this week, in terms of pray it, is the Lord's Prayer. Set an alarm on your phone for a particular time every day, whether it's just after you get up, whether it's just before you go to bed. Just find a moment every day when you can pray the Lord's Prayer, and just do that. Every single day, once a day, that's it. That's the trick. See how it goes.